Hey guys, so it is Sunday. I was actually planning to go out, but then it started raining, so I'm just stuck and I just thought of making a video. So I was thinking about something to talk about, and I just wanted to share with you guys about how I configure my keyboards for my Mac. And this is something I think a lot of you might have been thinking about. Like if you own a Mac system and you're trying to buy a keyboard for your Mac, you might have been looking the 5,000 to 6,000 rupees price bracket. That then you might have found something like the LS75 or the Aegis or the MCHOS keyboards. The problem with those budget keyboards is that they do not have a Mac specific software, and obviously they don't support QMK, so that could be a problem for a lot of you. So I've always talked about how having good software for a keyboard is very important, but I never really showed you guys how, right? So I'm going to show you guys a quick tip on how to configure your keyboard, a QMK supported keyboard for your Mac. So the first thing, right, when you are connecting a keyboard and a mouse, so if you're connecting a keyboard, you're obviously going to use a mouse as well, right? So the first problem that comes when you are doing that is that on a MacBook especially, is that you are moving away from your trackpad, right? Which means that you are losing the control using gestures, which I think if you have been a Mac user for a long time, you know that gestures are very fundamental in how we use our device, and it could be very annoying at first to not being able to access the trackpad directly. And what do we access with the trackpad is usually the workspace, right? You control the workspace, go to left workspace or your right workspace, you open the mission control and all that. So that is something you are going to miss if you are using an external keyboard, right? And to solve this, you have two options. One is you could buy the external trackpad from Apple or the Magic Mouse. The Magic Mouse supports gestures on top of the mouse surface, or you could get something like the MX Master 3S, which supports thumb gestures, which you can press the thumb button and then switch the workspace around, and that works. But I've always found that the thumb gestures are very uncomfortable for me, so I was thinking of a solution, right? And the solution that I came up with was my keyboard. So what I actually usually do on my Mac system is that I change the caps lock key to be the FN key, which I can use as a normal FN key. Then I can use the alternate layer, right? And the FN plus caps lock would be the actual caps lock key, so that I don't lose the control of my caps lock. And I change up the WSAD keys to be macros. There would be control up, control down, control left, and control right. That way I can use my left finger. Using only my left finger, my pinky would be on the caps lock, and my WSAD. Using that, I can switch between my workspace, open the mission control, and do all of that I've been doing on my trackpad using the gestures, right? Okay, let me show you how to do that exactly. So first you need a MacBook, obviously, and you open up the VIA app, and then you connect your QMK supported keyboard. Right now I have my Monsgeek M1. So first I'll go to the configurator, and then over here you can see these layers, right? Usually the 0 layer and the 1 layer are for Windows, and 2 and 3 are usually for your Mac. But if you see here, you see that the second layer is also not very useful here. So I think the third layer is the Mac version, and this might differ according to your keyboard, but let's just check it. You would notice the Windows is on the middle, and if you see the Mac version, the Windows is on the right side, right? And that's how you can identify. And you'd see that this is the M05. So when you talk about QMK, right, and FN key and whatever that I've been talking about, the FN key is very simply a toggle that lets you trigger the other layer. Right now, M05 means it would trigger this layer, right? So now to configure your keyboard, it's quite simple actually. You go to the 5th tab, find your caps lock, it's this, right? And 5th tab, and just make this into caps lock. This would be my caps lock, and then I would come back here, change the caps lock to the same thing as my FN key, that is M05. So I would go to layers, and then over here I will search for M05, right? So now my caps lock key is also an FN key, and FN plus caps lock would be my actual caps lock. And now the remaining part is the fifth layer. I would go to my fifth layer and change this up, right? So to do this, I will go to macros, and I would simply do M0, M1, M2, and top button I will change it to M3. So now your WSAD keys, when you press it with the FN key, would trigger these macros M0, M1, M2, and M3. So now to set up your macros, you would come up here and click here, and what you want to do is use this, a chord. A chord is basically a set of keys that you press at once. So this is denoted by curly brackets separated by the key codes with commas. Very simple, right? So we want the macros to be control left, control up, control down, control right? So what you want to do, just open up the brackets, and you would see that you would get suggestions like this. You would want the left control, so LCTL, right? The left control. Then M0 would be the KC left, so like this, and save this. Pretty simple. So this way I just switch my workspace, and after this you just copy this and go to M1, KC left. This would be M1 would be down, right? And M2 would be the right, so KC RG HT, right? And 3 would be the KC up button. All right, so now you should be able to use your left hand, only your left hand, and press the caps lock as the FN key, and then use your WSAD keys to like switch between the workspace. It's pretty cool. Okay, so this way you can use the caps lock and the buttons to like switch within the workspace, open up the mission control and all that, right? It's pretty cool. And the reason why I like this better than using the arrow buttons is because the arrow buttons are like on the bottom right, so it's very annoying to be like typing on your letters here and then suddenly go to the bottom right, adjust your fingers again and control your workspace. It's very annoying. But this way you can be at the same place where you were typing, just press the caps lock and switch your workspace. It's very handy, to be honest. Like, I love this. And this is how I configure my QMK supported keyboards for my MacBook. I think it's pretty cool, to be honest, especially if you don't have something like the MX Master Tree, because this thing supports gestures to control the workspace. But if you're using a normal mouse, you would be stuck like this because you would not have direct access to the trackpad, which means that you're losing control of your gestures to control your workspace and whatever, right? So this is a very cool solution that I came up with for my MacBook on my QMK supported keyboards, and it's pretty cool. Like, just try it out and let me know like what you think about this. And yeah, let me enjoy my tea now. My god, it's already cool. Okay guys, I will see you in the next one. My god, this is annoying. Like, I need to set up my camera and everything again.